Main Street in Niagara Falls in front of Pulp Comics, where everyone here is celebrating Free Comic Book Day.
So it's called Free Comic Book Day. Once a year, the first Saturday in May, all the comic book stores around the world have a Free Comic Book Day. It's always the first Saturday in May. It started back in 2002, right after the first Spider-Man film came out. Okay. So they always debut a film on the Friday, and then the next day is the Free Comic Book Day. It's a day to create new fans, new interest, get kids to start reading comics. It's a really fun day for all comic book fans. Publishers all get together, like the main publishers, your Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, all the way down to the small comic book publishers. They make specific comics for today that have the Free Comic Book Day logo on it, and we, the store retailers, we get them just to give them away specifically for that day. Some of the highlights of today are there's an Avengers book today, DC Comics, there's Yo Gabba Gabba for kids, there's Smurfs, there's Guild, there's Buffy, there's you name it, Transformers, Star Wars, all the bases are covered.
Let's talk a little bit about Niagara Falls in particular. What is the comic book fan sort of climate here? Is it good, or what's it like?
It's definitely growing. I mean, as a kid who's been born and raised in Niagara Falls and collected comics as a kid, we've always had a good comic book store presence. The 90s got a bit weak, a lot of comic book stores kind of folded, but with the birth of all these new films that have been coming out, and of course the dawn of Free Comic Book Day, it's created more of a buzz. And also, you know, with the fact that the Niagara Falls Comic Con is coming up on June the 9th, it's definitely growing. Anything with Spider-Man and Batman, those are our top two sellers.
This part of Niagara Falls really needs something to keep it busy, and I think there's nothing better than Free Comic Book Day. People love comic books. It may seem to go through cycles in the media, but it's something that will always be popular. People are drawn to these characters. Superheroes were never my big thing. It was always Star Wars. I got into that when I was 4 or 5 years old, and it just has ballooned since then. And I met some guys from the 501st years back, and they inspired me to eventually build my own suit of armor. There's something in comic books, or even the comic book films, that everybody can like. Everybody can find a connection to at least one character. So, I mean, just check it out. Find something that interests you.
I was a big fan of Archie comics.
Right.
Garfield. Calvin and Hobbes was a big one. I've just always wanted to do my own comic strip ever since I was a little kid. So I did a lot of mural paintings for the school board. And one school wanted a skater kid. That was Bud. That became Bud. And I found myself drawing them everywhere, on like bus station walls, subway walls, whatever. And I said, what a great character for a comic strip. So I based Vinny on me. That's me at 10 years old when I had my long hair, and made him his best friend. And I based through a lot of people I knew into the story.
I've worked on some independent comics, and I do a lot of commission work as well. I've always drawn different cartoons and things like that as a kid. You know, I grew up with Archie comics and, you know, Superman, the regular superheroes that everybody does. And I just always felt, hey, I can draw that, you know, so I gave it a shot, and it turns out that people enjoyed the work that I did. So I just continued on, and as I've improved, I've got more people interested, and, you know, just went from there. It's surprisingly large. Until we really started, you know, Pulp started doing the Free Comic Book Day event and, you know, the Niagara Comic Con, it was always kind of a secret around here. Nobody really knew that many people, and now they're coming out of the woodwork. They're coming from everywhere. You know, it seems like you can't turn your head without meeting a comic fan in this area, and it's really, really good to see.